It was like kind of long, but I think the weekend was restful enough.
Okay. Well, here we are today. Toxic masculinity is a thing. Everybody's talking about it because it's definitely a thing. And then fading femininity. We got some technical stuff going on the other side, but hey, we're going to get that straight. And I got some gifts too. Thank y'all for sending those gifts over there. Thanks a lot for that. So, um, every third Sunday for the past several years, dating, mating, and relating has been a show topic because it's something that everybody can relate to. Everybody either dates, they've made it, or they have to relate and connect to other people. So this is one of those topics where everybody can talk about how they live, how they connect, how they relate, who they are, individualism, all of that. It's all of that, and that's what we're doing tonight. So the number, if you want to call in, 994-8949, 994-8949. And then if you want to, you can always comment in the comments, like on the live, wherever you're watching. Okay. If you're watching on TikTok and it glitches or whatever, you can always go to our app, my V949, or just look up V949 WATV. All right. So let's get into it. Toxic masculinity, by definition, to me, I feel that it is an unhealthy, warped sense of self as it pertains to manhood and society's role and how male dominance is to be acknowledged. That's my definition of toxic masculinity. Toxic meaning that it's not good. It's a not good view of being a man. Eddie, what's yours?
It is the hierarchy amongst men that places some men on top, some men on bottom that we compete to try to have. Some of it is an idealistic version of how masculinity should exist, which is unattainable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a referendum on the entirety of masculinity. It's just the part of masculinity that needs to be shaved off so that we can exist in a more reasonable way.
Okay, cool. I like it. Wendy, what you like when you hear toxic masculinity? What is that to you?
Um, Toxic masculinity to me is a man that is not self aware and he's self destructive.
Oh, self-destructive.
Um,
Okay.
when he doesn't have a sense of self,
Mm-hmm.
he tries to be whatever he can be, and that's dangerous for someone who does not know who they are
Okay.
because you have no boundaries.
Ooh,
So
toxic.
toxic.
J hat. Toxic masculinity.
Uh, Unhealthy man energy.
Okay. Just straight
And
out.
that is pretty much a basic definition. Toxic is unhealthy male energy.
Okay. What you think, Michelle?
My idea of it is it comes with a sense of entitlement and
Ooh.
a huge lack of empathy and holier than thou essence to themselves.
Because I'm a man.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, so that's that part of it. Now, the fading femininity. That's my thought of where women are and where females are. Well, let me say that first. I see girls and ladies who say don't say female. What? You have you seen that?
I've actually heard plenty of people my age say that. It's never made sense to me, but I
Like,
don't
what are you
know.
talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get
They
it.
don't like guys that say females, but nevertheless, fading femininity. And my definition for that is the inability for female energy to supersede survival and defense. I can't even be in my feminine energy because I'm trying to survive and I have to be on the defense. Gosh, so now my femininity is fading.
I think the fading femininity is what people are seeing around them and not it's the same thing for the women. You can't identify yourself. You don't know yourself and you don't know what you're here for, what you're supposed to be doing or your purpose as a woman. And a lot of that is misconstrued with social media.
Okay.
So, I mean, it has a lot of,
So the big question is, how do we get here? Like we've given our definitions. How did we get here? How has society shaped itself into this battle of the sex, like a real life, everyday battle of the sexes? I don't. How do we get here? And you mentioned social media, and so I'm wondering, is that what put us here? And if that's the case, why is it so widespread? There are some influencers who come to mind when you talk about the toxic masculinity. A lot of people remember Kevin Samuels being one of them. Then there's another guy, Andrew Tate. And then a lot of people refer to Donald Trump as one of those men. Like when you think about just like figures that people can relate to and say, yeah, that is toxic masculinity, live and live in color. It says that, or some studies have shown that society has always told men what they can't do and who they should be, and so toxic masculinity is just it's a rebuttal. It is that the mindset is that I am and I'm going to do and be as I shall and what I will. Okay, so those are a few of the notes. Another thing is that it's the idea of an alpha male. I'm just an alpha male. I'm a leader. I'm a strong man, and that's what this is. And if you think it's toxic, it's because you have no clue about what my role is and who I'm supposed to be.
I think a lot of this started. It wasn't really the catalyst, but I think a lot of it started in its basic as elementary. You remember the game we used to play where you whisper in somebody's ear, and when it got to the end of the line, it was all messed up.
Telephone.
Yeah. So I think what happens is you hear something or you see something and you try to mimic or relate to what you're hearing or seeing, but that wasn't the correct definition or correct way to behave from the beginning. So as it goes down the line, it gets even more misconstrued and more misconstrued, and we get here. And I feel like enough people don't do research or read about people of the past that were prominent or dominant males and prominent and dominant females
Okay.
in a positive light. So I think that's how we got here.
Okay. How we get here?
The way we got here, from my vantage point, is through patriarchy, a long held system of beliefs where men decided how we should exist. There was a time where women didn't have the social capital to dictate how men existed. So men said, we're going to exist like this. And everything that we got today that we talking about is some form of some old stuff that been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just new forms of it. Now, social media allow you to consume it in bulk, versus, just getting it from your mom and your granddaddy them. But at the end of the day, it's these systems of how we were told to exist as men. And it's impossible to maintain without your own deterioration.
On TikTok, got a comment that says, hey, Bashan. He says the unwillingness to go within and change. We then began to outward attack and project. Absolutely. I ain't trying. I'm fine. But yeah, but how does that start? So Eddie, you say it's by design. This is how the male patriarchy set it up for us to see things and to function. And when I say us, I mean man. I'm not a man. And that's going to be another part of the conversation.
And also, let's be clear, white man patriarchy.
Okay.
That we are operating, black men operate through the template of they had the magic wand, the way to what society is, and we are operating in what they created. We didn't create it, nor can we alter it.
Okay. All right. But it's so affecting us though. Our demographic is all us people of color. And we're younger than way back then with the men on Mount Rushmore. So that's why I'm really just confused at how we got here. What you got, J-Head?
I'm thinking more or less when you talk about definitions and wordplay, you're talking about who gets to make up that definition. So on one side, yeah, we can look at the white male figure for that, but on the other side, I think the toxic sense of it comes from, in our case, black women. Okay. And black women and how they have seen so many bad examples. But really, what is a man, right? Who can define that?
So what do you live based on? Like if I live based in the fact that God created, or that, I believe that God created heavens and earth and male and female, man and woman. And then what did he give man the dominion and power to do? And then, okay, you did that. And then he made woman. And then this happened. And this is what she was supposed to do. And if that is the model that you live by, we are way off of that too. Way off. So then what? So that is why I continue to ask, how did we get here? Because I think one thing is, the examples that we've seen in our households and in our families, that's one thing. TV is one thing. But the very premise, the very basic, rudimentary beginning of male and female from this dust and from my bone, if that's what you believe, and if not that, then what?
So I think first we need to try to see how toxic masculinity and femininity are actually showing up today before we can see like how did we actually get here. So what does a toxic male or a toxic female actually look like right now? What are they doing? How are they behaving? And
Sure.
then I think we can go back and say, hey, by definition, this is how we got here.
Okay.
Because everybody has like different definitions of what toxic is to them or how it appears in society or how it affects them or how a person that's toxic has affected them. So I think we got to, that's a lot going on right now because everybody just throwing out the word toxic, toxic, toxic. So what actually is toxic?
So, Eddie, I know you're ready, but I just just
Ready,
because
Eddie.
but just because you say, well, what is toxic? Toxic is what it is. It's very much standard as far as what those behaviors look like. They are often misconstrued by people who actually are toxic.
Yeah. So
Right?
like, what does that look like though?
So it's circular conversation, it's manipulation, it
Yeah.
is emotionally unavailable, unintelligent,
Mhm.
but that these are results of. So I become emotionally unavailable, unintelligent, voided, and neglected because of something that I didn't get. So we can go all the way back to childhood trauma and,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that
Yeah.
we could
Yeah.
do that as we probably should. But then there are these mixed messages that, bro, your mama was really very awesome to you, and you were just something is wrong up here, and you thought that that was being mean or being whatever. And it's these underlying personal messages and my self beliefs. I really do feel inferior. I really do need to beat my chest because I'm not 6 feet. I'm not whatever.
Short man syndrome.
It could be that. It could be all these things. It could be so many different things
Yeah.
as to how it develops on that side. But yay, okay.
I mean, nobody is born toxic. So what does it? You say, let's go back to the origin. Nobody is born that way.
Nobody's born toxic.
No, you learn. That's learned behavior.
So
It is.
we can talk about two different things, right?
That's
Okay.
right.
Toxic behaviors between individuals within relationships, that is one thing.
Okay.
Toxic masculinity is a different thing.
Let's talk about it.
Toxic masculinity is the range upon which we have been ordered to exist as men. There is a version of that that is problematic and unsustainable.
Mm-hmm.
For example, men ain't supposed to cry.
Yeah.
That is toxic masculinity because that's telling us something that's not sustainable. You telling me that me and Wendy got the same tear ducts, but I'm not supposed to use mine?
Because you're a male. Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Biggs.
unsustainable. And in order to sustain that, we try not to cry, which means that we gotta push our emotions down, which means that when our loved ones die, we can't let our family see us cry. Which means we gotta throw ourselves into work, which means we working ourselves to the bone, putting ourselves in the grave. This is toxic masculinity.
Mhm.
All of these ways that we have been told as men that we have to exist. When you
They're
adhere
unhealthy
to that
ways.
system, you are participating in toxic masculinity. You are not a toxic man. You are participating in a system of toxic masculinity.
I like that. That's one
That's
side
good.
of it. So that's a general side of it, right? When you talk about the idea or the ideals that men have to live up to. But then there's the piece where it becomes a lifestyle in relationship, which is what you see a lot of. And I think we've kind of talked about the red pill side of all of it, where the buzzwords that you're going to hear from people who function in that space are everything is disrespectful. Everybody else is confused and crazy, and this is the standard. I'm just being direct. You'll start hearing the same things, and it starts to cross over with some other things that you can get a diagnostic code for. But before we get to that, I want to continue to talk about it on the surface level.
Okay.
Comment right here says, "Oh, there are several comments, so I can't get back to that one. Oh my goodness, let's see. Okay." Little boys aren't supposed to cry. Men cry in the rain and in the shower. Okay. And then before that, though, there was another one. Only women display toxic masculinity. And I want to know where that comment, I want to go into that comment. Only women display toxic masculinity.
Are they saying that we're trying to exist in a form that we're not supposed to exist? And that's what makes
Fading
it
femininity.
fading feminine. Okay, so that's what we touched on in the beginning. So yes, women can display, characteristics of toxic masculinity because we shouldn't exist there. Period.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that you can address that right there because there are places that women shouldn't be, and that's one of them. So
I
when you
don't
tell
want
a
to be a
woman to
man.
stay in her place, that's where we need to stay.
Wendy, I've never been in my place. I've never been.
I tried. There is I feel like there is it sounds harsh, but it's facts. And sometimes as a woman, we have to recognize that we do have a place. We do have a lane. We do have a purpose. We might not like to hear it coming from the other side, but we do have a place,
Because
and it is
don't
being
manipulate,
feminine.
don't manipulate the place that it comes from by
No.
saying stand in a woman's place, and that means that I need to be quiet, that I don't need to ask
No, I
questions,
think
right?
sometimes we can just take it as if you view it that way, then yes. But if you don't view it that way and view it the way that it should be viewed, then it's hey, I'm gonna stay feminine.
Yeah,
I'm
regardless.
I'm gonna hold my grace and I'm gonna hold my place
Mhm.
and just exist there.
To the women in the room,
Yeah. 'cause
can
I
y'all help
wanna
me
dig
understand
that.
y'all
Yeah.
an ideal existence of femininity? Like, what does ideal femininity look like?
I want to walk around and wear white all day on rose petals. Nah, it really means
Having-
with sipping wine while I speak
Yes.
very eloquent English with pretty manicured hands and feet. No, seriously, yeah, that's part of it, the pampering piece of it. But being able to be soft and gentle and be help. I don't want to have to be I don't need to be the lead. If I'm the woman and I can help,
Mhm.
that's what I want to be able to be. I don't want to have to always be in that space that you're going to consider masculine. I want to be able to be in that feminine energy, which is my natural space.
And another thing, what I model femininity after, and I watch it every night because they have the seasons of the Cosby Show. Claire Huxtable, and it's very, it's very cliche to mention Claire, but Claire was a leader. When it was time for her to lead, she knew how to lead.
Grace and grit.
Grace and being genteel and being a nurturer and being able to just be and having the support of being
Feeling safe, right?
safe.
Safety promotes femininity. It
does.
promotes feminism. When I'm safe and I know that I
And
can.
that's the number
it's
one
safety.
thing, feeling protected.
Just safety. Okay. Was that easy?
I mean,
I feel like for me, it kind of shows up as like gentleness,
Yeah.
as Wendy said. Yes, like gentleness, like allowing a male to like take over the space that he needs to take over. And I can show up with the softness because life is hard enough on men.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't need to come in and try to double you up with what you got. No, that's not my place. And I don't desire that either.
Right.
But I think it is like the softness, the gentleness, like and the nurturing that comes from being a woman that we have naturally. But I think along the lines, obviously, like that's why we're having this conversation, is getting lost.
It's so blurred.
Yeah.
It's so blurred.
Because again, I'm going back to learned behavior. The new woman in this space does not always operate in that space, right? And then we have increased femininity in men because, and so the lines are blurred.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, let's be real. Like the lines are blurred today.
Yeah.
So now we're using the term very loosely, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And so we're saying, oh, he's toxic. We're quick to use toxic in front of what a man should be doing.
Okay.
So
That's real.
so you could talk about, well, he's there's confusion between assertive and aggressive. Right?
Definitely.
So if a man is being
Definitely.
his ideal man self, like I'm going to take the lead and I'm going to give you, well, we ain't gonna do. It's always the opposite. Like okay, if I'm leading you or not.
So look,
Yeah.
I want to go there because somebody said that in a session, and I wrote. I said, hey, we're gonna put a pin in this. I'm gonna put this on the bulletin board because we're gonna keep this. And he said, about how women want to be led, but it's like you got too many questions, baby. Because where are you leading me? You have, I'm still trying to allow you to lead me, but I don't feel safe. So I have to ask questions. What's wrong with clarity?
So I think the problem with that is about where free will comes into play.
Yeah.
And you have the root of this is a choice. So if you go in lines and you're dating and you choose this man to be with, your choice should dictate whether or not you follow his lead and if he'll protect you. Because you can't choose the man and then say, I'm not going to follow you and I'm not going to allow you to lead me. Because that means you made a poor choice, right? So that I think that all comes into play with people being accountable for the choices that they make and the people they choose. And when those red flags show up that you say you don't want to deal with and what you won't tolerate, making the choice to leave. It's based off logic. So it's you can't tell this man, I'm not gonna follow you. You can't lead me. But then in the same breath say, I choose you to be with. It doesn't.
That sounds good, Wendy.
Right.
It really does. It sounds really, really
And
beautiful because that's how it
really
should be.
easy.
Yeah.
But
It should be that
women
way.
are emotional and we don't do things based off logic.
True.
Everything is logical
Sometimes,
though.
yeah.
If we could tap into the logistics of things sometimes, I think we can make better decisions and be like, hey, this is not going the way I wanted it to go. You are not the guy I thought you were when the signs show up,
Mhm.
and get out the door. You got to get out of there.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's the absolute best thing to do because, like, okay, sure, like you might be dating or you want a man or whatever, but if you're constantly coming to him with complaints like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do
This
that,
ain't it, baby.
and he never does it, get away from him. It's so easy. Like, you can go and find somebody that'll do it for you. You can't make a man out of someone that isn't there yet or probably will never have the potential to be.
So what
Out
about the
of there.
women that don't do their end and are not in that energy? What about the women when he's begging him and
Aw.
Then he
pleading?
need to get up out of there too. Yes,
No,
like
She's
it could be
toxic
so
femininity.
easy.
It's not, okay, you grow with somebody it has to be fertile ground for you in order to grow. So growth only happens in a sustainable environment. If the
Mhm.
environment is not sustainable and it's not cultivated for growth, you're not going to grow with this person.
Yeah.
So you have to know when you can get up, dig up those roots. They're very shallow. Dig them up and go about your business.
Okay. So we jumped all the way into relationship already. And before we get to relationship, we have to talk about the individuals who make up the relationships. And those are the toxic people.
Listen,
You
y'all,
say men and
Well,
women
let's,
no more.
yeah, I mean, the people, individuals.
people.
I
Human.
am a very far outlier from this conversation.
Mhm.
I barely agree with anything that's been said.
Oh.
The conversation.
Okay.
It's just a lot.
It is. It's a whole
And
lot.
this comes with a lot of like anti-patriarchy work, dismantling masculinity, dismantling a lot of these systems. Like to me, femininity and masculinity are just ball and chains to existence to me. Like
Wow.
those concepts are like, I don't care about those concepts. I mean, they can mean something for who it means something to, but if it means that it's holding me back somehow from being my full self, they are meaningless to me. And in a lot of instances, a man being told to be a certain type of masculine and a woman being told to be a certain type of feminine are holding them back from being who they desire
And
to
a true
be.
authentic self. Yeah.
And so like those concepts, they can, if they mean something, relevant, then okay. But like most of the time they are used to say, I'm not supposed to act this way, or I am supposed to act this way. And it gives somebody outside of that a reason to look at you and say, well, because you're not acting this way, I can do this to you, or I can have these behaviors because you're supposed to be acting like this. And a lot of people try their best to adhere to that, to contort themselves to be in that way.
Yeah.
Because and the way I say this is like a woman, if you get in a relationship and you want your man to be the shooter as a form of protection, and you lose that relationship, you got to be the shooter. You can't just hope for a shooter and not be a shooter. Like a big part of, and this is my struggle with masculinity and femininity, because a man, before he get into a relationship with a woman, is expected to provide his own food, is expected to clean his own clothes, expected to clean his own house, and he's looking for a woman to take away his adult responsibilities from him. Just the same way that like on the other side, the same thing exists. A woman is looking for their own autonomy to be taken away by that man. It's like, oh, I don't want to be the shooter. I need him to be that. But if you the shooter, you the shooter.
We the shooter.
And I'm just saying. So that all of that is rooted in saying the man and the woman should make their own negotiations about how they exist in their union, and that can be however masculine you want to be and however feminine you want to be. But when you zoom out in this conversation and start telling every woman they got to fit in this mold of femininity, and every man that they got to fit in this mold of masculinity,
individuality.
Then when them two people get in that relationship, they trying to live off of standards of people that's outside of their relationship instead of the standards they define inside the relationships, because they hadn't even had the permission to think outside of those standards that everybody else gave them.
Come back out of the relationship and just address the standards, right? So when you meet a lot of, like I said, you will meet toxic people who have had non-toxic rearing, and they have found themselves in different spaces where they it's the internal struggles. So before we get with anybody, before we start talking about relationships, these individuals who are dealing with that, they're toxic people, like just toxic people.
So outside of relationships,
before you meet
the person, the reason why, and that's why in my definition in the beginning, the reason why I said that is because if you don't identify self, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know how to please you, how to make you happy, then you're not going to be happy within a relationship. You're not going to know what you're looking for, who you're
Right.
looking for, and who you're supposed to be. But in all things, you should have order. So everybody does have a place in a relationship. But if you don't know who you are, you don't even know what your place is with someone else or what you're looking for. So you going into everything you do, whether it be a job, whether it be a friendship, relationship, whatever it be, it's going to be toxic because you're going to bring in traits that you don't
That
even
are toxic,
yeah, you don't
right?
even identify with these traits. You don't even know who you are. You don't even know what you're capable of. So it don't matter what you're looking for, who you're looking to be, or who you're looking to be with. If you don't know self first, then you can't be with anybody or do anything.
It's never going to work.
Exactly.
It's never
You're
going
going
to
to
work.
project, and that's a big
Yes.
piece of this, the projections and the manipulate, whatever somebody else up there said about the projections. It's like you've heard it so much because you are toxic, right? You have heard this over and over again for a long time because you've been toxic, and you aren't willing to change because in your mind this is the way. This is manhood.
Yeah.
This is woman. Whatever it is. This is mehood. This is how I am. This is good. No,
What is it? Woo?
mehood.
It's good.
Mehood is good.
And then what's
And it
so-
ain't.
It's not. And what's so crazy is when you meet somebody that has, when you see the light.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that know the right way. There are people that actually know what they're talking about. They've been trained. Eddie has been trained. You have been trained. So when they come to you and tell you, hey, the way you were raised was not okay.
Or that it was amazing and you're not okay.
And you're not okay. Like either way, whatever end of the spectrum we looking on, when somebody tells you that has the knowledge of knowing what's right and wrong, when you can't see it for yourself because you're in it, why not take the advice?
I'm toxic.
You should really think about working on yourself.
No, I'm great.
Yeah, I think that just kind of leads to like a deeper conversation to where it's like working on yourself is like a
Shadow work.
yes, like it's like a deeper thing, and I don't think a lot of
They're
people
trying to
like
beat me
actually
to all
hold the
that.
depth to go in and like
Okay.
view themselves and see like where they're making mistakes at. Like you can't even tell somebody like, hey, you didn't do this, like say like you spelled a word wrong or something, and it's like, I ain't spelled that word wrong. You need to look it up. It's like so much deflecting. Yes.
So that's where we are as a people, which
Yeah.
is why I'm wondering, is this a part of the whole, is it toxic masculinity and fading femininity, or is it just horrible people with a lot of mental health issues? What's
I
happening?
think it's a little bit of everything.
I
Okay.
think toxic is the equivalent to the word crazy as far as mental health.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a word that means I don't know how to identify what it is, but I don't like it. So I'm going to bundle it under this umbrella of behavior. So toxic. Toxic means that I'm experiencing something negative that keeps happening over and over and it's harming me. But you need to get better at identifying what that thing is. Is it emotional manipulation, or physical abuse? Is it narcissism? Is it what? Let's zoom in on what it actually is. You know, a lot of people are hearing these buzzwords, you know, because when TikTok came out, it's 100 different platforms saying this is what narcissism, this is what NPD look like. This is what NPD look like. And people will take one little thing and be like, that's NPD. For example, narcissistic personality disorder. My bad.
Narcs.
Listen,
Dark notes.
the one thing that I see is like a person who love bombs, which is like give you a whole bunch of gifts real
Hey
early,
man, shut up, buddy.
can definitely be narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
But it can also be a person that was raised in a family that do stocking stuffers every year and give gifts to each other, right?
Right.
Now,
Could
the
be.
default is always going to be, because of how popular this term has become, is, oh, that's love bombing. That's a red flag. It can't be a dude that just generally give gifts. Now, there is enough narcissistic personality disorder go around to put him through the ringer to make sure that his
Absolutely. Is
gift
this real?
narcissistic personality disorder.
after the gifts? Are you ghosting me?
Yes.
I
that happened to
discarded
me.
you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
He discarded you.
He
but our
did.
whole
He's a narc.
society they'll kick that man out of their life, be like, oh, that red flag.
Narcolepsy.
And he like, well, I just like giving gifts.
Right.
So a lot of things exist like that, where if you look into DSM, narcissistic personality disorder is out of 12 different items, you got to have 3 to 4 of them for a period of time to be diagnosed.
Right.
And sometimes some of those things in isolation could come from mama trauma, could come from daddy trauma,
absolutely.
could come from a past relationship. And it's just by itself, it's a thing, but people see that one thing based off that one video that they said if your partner does this, they got narcissistic personality disorder. they don't understand the implications of the training that it takes to be diagnosed with that.
Yeah.
Right.
And realistically, all of us have low levels of narcissism. That's that thing that makes you
It's a little
value
motivation.
yourself to a
Yeah.
degree. You know, it's just when it's too high.
When
you
it's
know,
a disorder.
narcissistic personality disorder.
When
And
it when
and
it
you know what?
impedes on your
Outside of-
daily functioning and how you interact, you
Yeah.
you can't do you not see how many friends and family members you lost and how many jobs you can't keep and how your children
They
hate
not
you?
the problem.
And look,
Yeah, this
Let
is
them
you.
tell it.
I'll even say outside of the diagnosis, about 2 notches below that, it's still about you probably finna have some problematic relationship
Yeah.
without the diagnosis. You know,
And that's one diagnosis with similar. There are others with. I'll give you the whole cluster B. There's a whole cluster of these diagnoses.
antisocial personality
Yeah.
disorder and narcissist, they got overlaps.
Yeah. So before I will say this, before any of you start to try to diagnose, you have to have these credentials that we have. They cost a lot too. But yeah, you got to do that. Don't just be out here calling people something because they and then stop calling. No,
Or
they
you
probably,
heard it on TikTok. A lot of people are so uneducated, but they like
TikTok told me.
is a form of education in
I'm
some
on that
ways,
now.
but that does
Bruh.
not always mean that it's accurate.
Listen,
You need
y'all.
to fact check.
TikTok is a master class. And if you say something confident and
It's
looking
true.
people in the eyes, that you'll be believed. It's a master class in that. It's so many people
sit back.
standing
You
10
do
toes down in something they don't know
Right.
nothing about. And people believe them because
Yeah.
they say it with such charisma that it's like, that gotta be right.
No.
Like, that's how we
Right.
believe people.
Straight
Yes.
reading from the teleprompter. But anyway, like for real, like again, these words, we
Yeah.
use wordplay too loosely. Going back to what I was saying earlier, like the double standards even come into this. Like there are a whole lot of things that I think there are some genuine dudes out there that try to do A, B, C, D, and then they get labeled for being A, B, C, D. You get labeled for being who you're supposed to be
Mm.
and showing up how you're supposed to show up. Now, when I say show up how you're supposed to show up, a man is supposed to do certain things,
Okay.
right? And if
What
you
are those
do,
things?
well,
Providing
I'm not even going on provision because that's taken out of context.
It is. You
We
gonna
are
give me $100?
managers. Men are managers.
Mhm.
God is the provider, and that has been taken all the way out of context.
Okay.
And men have killed themselves trying to do something that God never told them to do based on doing what God said do. Provision is not one of them. However,
No, you had to clear your throat for that.
yeah,
What was that?
yeah, and that is you see it
Yeah,
show up
you
in the
feel my throat.
biology, right?
Yeah.
Okay, testosterone, it's real. We just talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Those are the things that give men strength, and we're looking at life one way. Women look at life another way. All of these are biological and done by the creator. It's when we, culture, society, start tapping into what that looks like. And if it don't show up in this person, then this person can't be this person, and this person ain't this. We have to get outside of the definitions that society comes up with, and you have to live in your own norm.
Yep.
But what if your own norm is toxic?
Who said?
Everybody that has told you this over the course of your life, over the 6 decades that you've been alive, and the 7 wives that you've had, and the 14 children, and the 22 jobs that you got fired from, and your neighbors who always have issues with you, and who else? What else comes with that? The friends who stopped enabling you once they realized that something was wrong. All of those, no, you're just because it's you.
We're saying toxic for bad behavior.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
and
That's
mindset.
what it is. Again, I'm saying
Mindset.
toxic.
You're just
toxic
really
is a catch-all for
a
specific stuff that
horrible.
anybody identify.
You're just a horrible person all the way around.
But they might not be, Wendy. So that's why we are having the conversation. So when you think about, we're looking at just topics. These are overarching umbrella statements.
Mm-hmm.
Toxic masculinity,
Mm-hmm.
fading femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And they overlap because according to Eddie, and I think that I could say this and you will say yay or nay, toxic masculinity may cause some of the fading femininity.
It does.
Okay.
Because
Look at Eddie.
I'm sorry, but I heard.
Eddie.
Listen, I was actually reading a book about this, guys. Okay, you want to keep something from us, you put it in a book. But I was actually reading a book about it, and women are actually the song that Moneybag made. You were a reflection of me. it carries throughout. It's actually the truth. Women are an actual reflection of what men put out.
Okay. Oh. So the defenses are warranted.
Yes. Everything that a
Mm.
woman does and everything that women have become is because of what men have put out.
So it goes back to the patriarchy.
It goes back to the patriarchy. And the thing about
Jay has
in this
this.
book,
No.
in this book, I heard Eddie say that it can't be corrected, but it can be because we're all adults.
But our children are growing up in these systems, as
And you can
well.
correct. That's how you break generational curses.
What did I say
Okay.
can be correct?
When you were making the statement about the patriarchy, and you was like, we can't rectify, we can't correct the systems that have been put in place. And that's something I feel we can correct, because for one, we always talk about breaking generational curses, and that's one way to do it. We don't raise our children the way that we were raised in environments that we were raised in. We try to rectify that. We try to correct that. And we have the wherewithal to do it. We have the resources to do it.
Mhm.
Even if you don't have the funds to do it, it's too much out here on the internet. It's too many books on the shelves. It's too many libraries out here. It's too many parks. It's too many free places for you to go in order to get resources and to be able to change the trajectory.
Okay.
If I said that, or if it came off as me saying that, I definitely don't believe that, because I wouldn't be doing anti-patriarchy work if I thought that it
Right.
wouldn't have to be done.
Yeah.
Right?
It was
It's just on autopilot. It's on autopilot.
This
it's
is what
like
it is.
we're maintaining it subconsciously. We're maintaining it as an entire culture, and a lot of work have to be done to push back against that.
You know, when you
Is-
get
is
so
what I'm
far,
trying to reference.
when
Okay.
you get so far gone into something, you don't know how to come back from it.
Yeah,
like
you
with
jumped
anything,
in a hole.
you jumped in a hole and you have no way to climb out. I feel like that's where we are.
Y'all listen to this. That's the truth. The woman is the reflection of the man. The woman gets aggressive when the man gets emotional.
I think a lot of things are just like personal experiences
Oh.
and not like a collective
different, though.
human thing, you know? And I think that's why these conversations are important, for us to understand that like people operate in different ways. And if you want to operate in one way with your person, that's okay. It don't have to make sense to us,
Yeah.
but you don't need to go around telling everybody, oh, y'all need to be acting like this too. We
Your
don't
woman
have
needs to
and
wrap
it
up,
doesn't
zip
work
that
for
up,
everybody.
put that on,
Right.
take that off. What?
My man would never.
And that's your man.
And then look, my woman would never. She would never be out here talking on a radio because she's slow, and that's how you
Well,
like them.
and I was gonna say that about Claire Huxtable. There are men who would call Claire Huxtable too modern. They would say she got too many kids. They would say that she done hit a wall at her age and she'll never find nobody after that relationship.
God.
They'll say she's not desirable.
Wow.
Like, but what I'm saying is,
If the show continued.
if the show continued, and if they found out Bill Cosby was giving that barbecue sauce out to all the other women,
Like if art reflected real life,
if he was giving that barbecue sauce out, then and then they left, they would be convincing her that the only way she can be with a man is if she stay with her husband, regardless of the issues that he's put her through, because she'll never find nobody else out there. They would have a problem with Claire Huxtable because they would perceive her to be not feminine because she got a job. Not only do she got a job, she may have a job that make more than him.
Yeah.
He was a doctor, but she was a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Claire wouldn't be in that category because her children were grown. They've been raised. They went to college, and she is desirable because of her career and the way she looks. She will always be desirable by, especially an older man. And younger men.
What I'm saying, I believe she would.
Yeah,
but this was the swan song of the red pill guys. This is what Kevin Samuel said over and over and over.
Yeah, about
they
when
hit a wall.
Mm-hmm.
How many kids you got? Your weight, your age, all of these things were markers that if you had these things, regardless of how attractive
you're
you
not
were,
high value,
how accomplished you were, this was they like
it's over for you.
How they ran. You know what I'm saying?
But
it's over for you.
And one thing about it, like even with Kevin Samuels, right?
He told the truth.
A lot of people that criticize him were women. Most of the people that criticize Kevin Samuels' philosophy were women, right?
I mean, he was talking about women really bad.
But no, but most people didn't study him, because if you watched and followed him, he did men like that way before he talked to women.
He did men like that before, and they used that to
he built brothers up.
Well, he used that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, his platform started with trying to help women engage. At some point, he let out a video. I can find a video and send it to y'all where he said, "I don't make no money talking to men. If I start talking to women like this, my platform will blow up." And he started talking to women like that.
Right.
So it's like, from his vantage point, his calling was trying to help men, But the clout chasing was what happened with women. Now I don't know that he intended for it to go down the path it went to as far as how aggressive he was.
He was
But
getting angry. That was
that's how
his
he
trauma.
became. That's how he got it back.
Hold on. Let me stop the press. Somebody said, I see this show today is a reflection of what's wrong with our culture.
Call in. Because what does that mean?
Let's play Danger by Erykah
Boy,
Badu.
I spent a lot of time watching Kevin Samuels.
Right.
Oh, see.
Ooh.
Do y'all know who Shara 7 is?
Yeah, sprinkle.
Yeah. What do y'all think about her?
I love her. I love her. She is the female Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, she is.
And I mean, I love her, but
I want to go back to this comment. I don't care nothing about none of them because they ain't here. They ain't running up nothing over here. I love this.
Talk about that though.
I love this.
so can we get
I see this show
can they
today
elaborate on
is
what
a
they
reflection
mean?
of what's wrong with our culture. Today's show is an example of why we need to have this conversation because something is wrong with our culture.
He said something, but he ain't say nothing. Like,
Yeah,
what did you hear?
And normally we love you, but
What did you hear? Let's hear what you
I'm
heard.
I'm about to be in some
What
toxic
part of it
femininity.
is wrong? Is it the conversation about relationships? I mean, it's differing opinions about femininity and masculinity. So, is it somebody you disagree with? Like,
It's a heavy topic because when you have people, it's what you say earlier, Michelle, hit dog holler.
Yes,
and I say that often, hit dog
They
holler.
do.
So when when this language resonates and you've heard it so many times, this is what I say. How many people can you think of that have said this to you? And folk be like, I mean, I don't know. Oh, you know, ain't nobody ever said that to me. And then be turning their head and turning
Lie
their
before
so
a cat say
because
meow.
nobody ever said that to
Yeah.
me, Wendy. Okay. All right. Look at Kristen. It's giving narc. Yeah, I pray for my sister.
I just would like
under
for
the
what's his
weather.
name? I would like for him to elaborate on what he
Yeah.
meant.
Yeah. Because this is the show. This is the show tonight that does speak to what we're experiencing. So many unhappy people individually get in these situations and it makes them even more unhappy. And then they make all the rest of us unhappy because toxicity is rubbing off on us. It's a bad. You put this rotten apple in here with us, Jonathan. And now
Misery loves
and that's what I'm
company.
going-
getting on us.
And Eddie made a profound point earlier, and I want to double back if we can to bring light to it. We talk about boys being told or shown not to cry.
Yeah.
Right? Who said that?
The mamas and daddies.
Most men ain't said that.
No, men have said that.
Well, it was in a book that I read where it came from.
Wait,
actually.
what did
It was in the makings of a slave. So where it came from when they were being sold apart from their families. It was a stick your chest out, hold your head up in front of your family. You know,
Yeah.
you don't cry in front of them. It wasn't said like physically said out of anyone's mouth, but the men had to have something to hold on to.
but in that culture, you try not to let him break you.
Right. So that's where
Right.
it came from.
But we're talking about in the family where you're supposed to feel safe at.
Yeah. Oh, well, so it's about safety. So
Well,
let's look at that. Edit.
let me say this to that.
Yeah.
If it were a black exclusive issue, then white men will be crying, but they have the problem too.
No,
No,
they-
no,
Really don't.
no, they don't. No, they do not. They cry when they drunk, but when we talking about white men who are ascribed to be masculine men, they do not cry. They do not cry. They operate, and so
Look what Steven said. They shouldn't cry publicly. He gonna cry in the car.
we listen, we got to
I
go
be crying
further
in the
away
car.
because the template that we
I cry in
operate
the
off
car.
of from America is a European white people standard.
I agree with that.
They defined everything we got going over here. Black people have not sat down and said, "Hey, black people, how should we exist?"
Exactly.
No, through slavery, we were
told how
forced
to
to
exist.
assimilate, and they gave us the template of how we assimilate, and we exist through a template of white supremacy with blackface.
Do y'all remember the Black Love movement?
I remember love is.
Okay, yeah.
Talk about the black love with Diddy.
No,
What?
like back in the day.
Oh,
Look, all of my 60s, 70s, all of my older
Yeah, that-
listeners and viewers, the Black Love era, black codes and those type things. Like there were some standards that were set. And I don't know that we don't have those standards and those, what does black love look like? And this goes back into the relationship portion of it, but we are talking about safety. J.H., you said I should be able to emote where I feel safely. So, or where I feel safe. So in my family, in my home, I saw my dad cry the hardest at some the burial of some of our loved ones.
Right.
He's a man and he is emotionally intelligent and secure, so he ain't just walking around crying every day all day.
That part.
But in these moments, like that,
'Cause you're
because I would have been
human.
like, that, hey, you gotta chill out. But in these moments where emotion and the tears count and tears are saying something, that was no. I mean, why would you not cry right here?
Yeah, and that all that
He
does
was
is
safe.
suppress your emotion. So like, and that's why I go back to in my thought process. Society is contributing to the toxicness of masculinity.
Okay.
So can we? So on the other end of the spectrum, I think we should start saying how we can cultivate the space for these people to have and to feel safe.
Well, that's in the second hour. So,
Okay.
because we still, we are still trying to understand why is this way? If I meet 3 guys, so it may be a thing of also attachment style and like where you are and who you meet and who's not afraid to approach, all of those different things. It may be all of that, but out of the 3 of them, 2.5 is toxic.
A lot of that.
Not
comes
our
from-
ears.
So when we're talking about patriarchy, we're talking about rules of society that men established when women were perceived to be either objects or property.
Correct.
Right. Even when we're talking about marriage, we were talking about a father giving away his daughter. It's because she couldn't acquire his property. She couldn't own land. She couldn't own a bank account. He had to give his wealth to the man that she was going to marry. So women didn't have the social capital to decide how we exist even at that time.
Give
So
me
it's
your,
like,
give me your
We
goat.
got to be careful
A
about that.
goat.
'Cause we got to be careful about that because where did they not? Not in Africa. That wasn't like that.
where did they not what?
Some of the
Give a
some of the
goat for a
civilizations
girl.
were led by women 1st.
True.
I'm talking about here in America
Oh, you
with the
can't hear
rules
it.
we talking about. Marriage here
Okay.
is
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Marriage
well, yeah.
here is that. In America, when they established America, they said women can't vote, women can't have bank accounts, women can't own land, they can't own
Okay.
property, they can't have none of that.
Mhm.
So when we get married, we got to make sure the husband give his daughter away, or the father give the daughter away to the husband, because I'm transferring my wealth to him. That's that goal. So I think we got to be careful at saying it's women's fault because of this, because when did women gain the social capital to tell us how to exist, and we did it?
When
I like that.
Wendy.
I think it came into play when we got our rights, and a lot of women got self-righteous.
Girl, when we had to.
I mean, but you can't
The hell?
defend it. You can't defend the behavior of a woman that's toxic and then say there's toxic masculinity, because you can get these rights and still operate in, not arrogance.
True, but to the point that was just being made, women didn't have social capital. I'm not educated to be arrogant. I'm educated because I believe that I believe that we should be educated, and I love to learn.
Mhm.
I don't live the lifestyle that I live because I want to show men up. No, I
Who
do.
cares?
No,
But now,
right. Like,
I
no,
mean,
do
that
this
might
for-
not have been
What?
what was going on in the beginning, but now the trickle down theory and effect has led women to have that sense of arrogance and say that I don't even need a man. I
Aw.
don't need you.
Mhm.
So, and you should never have that. It should be a collective to say, you and I together can have this
Mhm.
because I have tools and you have tools.
Should be.
The problem
Should be.
in that is,
There shouldn't be a problem,
in
though.
order for that to, then I feel like you have to agree with the assessment of white people when black people got their rights, that we just got too arrogant because we want some of what they got.
No, what I'm saying is no women had rights. No matter what race you were,
Mhm.
nobody had rights.
No. What I'm saying is white supremacy and patriarchy are two lateral systems.
Mhm.
White supremacy is white people oppress brown people. Patriarchy is men oppress women.
Mhm.
So the same fight that black people, brown people had to get their rights from white people, women had their rights to get from men.
And imagine being a
And so
brown woman.
Those are lateral systems. And so I'm saying that white people were saying those same sentiments about black people when that came to be. But realistically, white people never should have had power the way that they had power.
Yeah, 'cause-
And I'm saying the same thing for patriarchy. Women are fighting to get the things. And I think the natural evolution of something being taken away from you for so long, you become aggressive about getting it back. And so I think black people are the reasonable level of aggressive to white people, the same way that women are a reasonable level of aggressive to men. But men and white people still hold a power And the only way that those people can come together the way that you're saying is that the people at the top of those systems got to be willing to give some of that power up.
Okay, so if Black people were subjected to it on both sides, and patriarchy and the other side.
That's intersectionality.
Okay,
yeah.
if we were subjected to it on both sides, shouldn't we have more of an understanding that when you come together as a Black people, that you don't use it against each other?
Well, the onus of
I mean, the
Should.
male versus the female, because you should understand on both sides. Hey, we had to fight for this long on both sides. We need to come in unison together to realize that, hey, the system in the United States, white patriarchy, whatever it is, was working against us to keep us suppressed for so long that when we got these rights, we should fight aggressively in unison and not against each other.
Well, the onus of that is on Black men, because
exactly, we are a reflection of Black men, like I said.
But what I'm saying, the onus of that is on Black men, because Black men can still choose their maleness, like white women can still choose their whiteness. Black women are on the bottom sides of both intersections.
But it takes the Black man to uplift the Black woman, and we need that protection. So what I was saying is, you don't have to be super aggressive on either end when you're working together.
However,
but that's you saying that, hey, y'all, don't be mad at Kevin Samuels for besmirching us. We just got to be nicer.
Well, I've never been I've never been mad at Kevin Samuels. I've actually agreed with Kevin Samuels because
it's just the delivery.
It's the delivery, but sometimes it takes that delivery to understand that, hey, you need to make a change. You can't expect these things from your man or a Black man or any man if you're not holding yourself accountable and keeping yourself up. A lot of these women that, if you watch Kevin Samuels, these women were not.
First of all, why are you even calling in?
Right, because a lot of these women, you should know for a fact.
Why are you doing that?
Just on the basic level, and I'm not downing anybody, to each his own, your body, your choice. But if you are out of shape, you've wasted all your youth on men and made poor decisions and had 4 and 5 children, and then expect at the end to say, hey,
canceled, girl.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get canceled, guys, but I'm just saying, just in logic, because a lot of times I use logic and I step outside and I use logic because I had a lot of men around me. I had a father, I had brothers, I had all these people to show me the right way. So if you have not made good decisions your entire life, and then at the end, when your body is used up, because all we have to offer men really is our femininity outside of right now that we have rights and we can work. But as a wife to a husband, we don't have anything to offer besides our softness, our femininity, because they're supposed to lead us. So you've used yourself up, and then you want this top tier man.
Good.
It's not going to happen.
Hold on. 9948949. When is it? You used yourself up. I ain't used a damn thing. Hold on, y'all. So Stephon Green says women don't do what's right. They do what feels right. So we can't blame women, because what's good today for a woman is bad tomorrow for the same woman. Where these women at? The man must remain the same. The man must remain the same. We are the standard. That's why the woman is the reflection of the man, because if her man is good all the time, she is good all the time. But if her man is chaotic, aka toxic, then she will be toxic. Pass the collection plate. Steven, get out. But there are certain parts that are so strong. And I like the middle of that. If this is where you get into the mental health piece of it, first I have to acknowledge these assessments that have been made about me. I have to acknowledge them. I have to be vulnerable and vulnerable. I'm a man. Right. I'll never be vulnerable. Shut up, bro. If you can do that, first of all, you can accept that there are some things, you know what, I may need to really tap in and see what has caused me to feel that I should function in this way. Why is it that every relationship that I get in is this way? Why is it that all of the women in my life feel this way about me, except for the ones who I'm only platonic with, because they be cussing me out and telling me that's wrong? Like, what? The dentist? The dentist get them feet checked on. Oh, okay, Wendy, hold on. So I just like that. I want to screenshot that. Yeah. But the man can't remain the same if the man is mentally unstable and unhealthy and all the other things, right?
Right.
So if he's that, and I want him to be that, he thinks that I'm badgering him and nagging and being toxic. Before we go to the second hour, go ahead.
No, I mean, his statement is just overarching. It's painting with wide brushes.
It's wide brushing.
Wide brushing.
I haven't disagreed with anything more in my life than what that man.
Oh man!
I'm sitting here reading.
Wait a minute. I want to picture.
I don't know. This might be. He just shot his shot. He shot his shot for one of y'all.
I like it. I like it.
No, honestly, people are individuals. They come into the relationship as individuals.
Yeah,
To
it
make a
should.
whole plate, right? I can count countless of times in my counseling practice where brother is solid,
Okay.
good dude,
Mm-hmm.
and he has just a wayward lady.
She wayward.
And I say wayward, not in cheating always. And so what I'm saying is everybody makes their own choice. So yes, I could lead the right way, but that doesn't mean that she's going to follow the right way because that's earned.
Okay. Put a pin right there. We're going to go to our second hour. You're listening to the award-winning show, aka Vital. On the third Sundays is dating, mating, and relating, DMR. I'm not going to turn the mics off. We're just going to go into the top of the hour. So y'all behave in studio. If you're listening at home,
I'm finna say something.
if you're listening at home, just hold on. Just hold on. We coming home. Hold on, y'all. Here we go.
Okay.
Yo. We're back. V94.9 WATV. Sunday nights, you listen to the award-winning show, aka Vital. Every third Sunday for about the past 17 years, we've been doing this topic called DMR, dating, mating, and relating. Everybody does it in some kind of way, and individuals do it every day. We relate to people we try to, and when we don't, that can sometimes be problematic. That says a lot when we can't relate to people and we have to try to mirror them and mimic them, and it still doesn't work and all that type of stuff. So for that, we have these conversations. We can talk about these things on air. Pull your toes back. Turn your radio up. Get your notebook out. All right. Let's talk roles and rules in DMR. You know, you always say somebody's staying in a place. You don't know your place. I sure don't, because you didn't make it for me. You haven't given me any reason to have a place there. What's my place? What is my place? And how did you figure that you knew what it was to tell me that I wasn't in it? How does that go? I asked that question a lot. What does this mean? What we saying so, but what does that mean?
It means that ain't no communication took place in the relationship between the two people. This person is coming to a relationship with a predestined understanding of where you should be.
Okay.
And instead of trying to figure out where you actually fit, he's trying to fit you into that puzzle slot. And it just, you can look at it and see it don't fit.
Right. I want everybody to be this way because this is what's wrong with society. Y'all aren't this way, and this is how you should be.
This is what church told me. This is what my grandma, my granddaddy relationship looked like. And it's been beneficial to my granddaddy because he got to run around in the neighborhood being crazy and getting folks pregnant and having different folks pop up at his funeral that we didn't know was our siblings. Like
My,
we've been having
my.
this whole conversation talking about women behavior, but like we're not talking about the problematic male behavior that men say that if men don't do that, the women will be okay. But men be doing it. Why
But you is doing it.
There's a conversation to have about how we saw our grandmamas and granddaddies' relationship.
Yeah.
Because a lot of granddaddies was a bad day away from being shot. Mine was actually shot.
Ooh.
Had his leg amputated at some point because of his abuse.
Mm.
Like there's a lot of grandmamas that was going through that stuff, and boys saw that kind of thing.
Okay, and so the cycle continued, or either they chose otherwise. This is not how you treat people. I didn't like to see my grandma treated like that, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure I take care of my woman. I'm gonna make sure I show my daughters this. You do get that too, but what didn't they have that we have now? Social media. They didn't have a lot of resources.
Well, they didn't have the social capital that women have now.
Mm-hmm.
The access to employment. You know, the sentiment, keep them barefoot in the winter and pregnant in the summer.
I know you lying.
Like, that's a long-standing male sentiment that a lot of men lived by.
Yeah.
So that they
knocked up again.
So that they women couldn't go nowhere.
Ignorant.
This is where women of today come from. They was raised by them grandmamas. A lot of what we see in women today is the response of how our daddies, granddaddies, and great granddaddies treated our mamas, grandmamas, and great grandmamas. It's just what it is. Because when the girls was in the house with mama, what they were saying was, hey, don't let no man have all the money. Don't let no man know where all the paperwork at. Don't let this man be the only one to know how to drive. Don't let no man be the only one that work. They was saying to they younger generations, don't let this happen because this is hell for me.
All right.
And so now we have a society where women are the black women particularly have the most small businesses.
Yeah.
They have the most college degrees.
Yeah.
They have the most college enrollment. They have the most real estate.
Okay.
We can
Let me tell you something.
Because that's a trauma response.
Let me tell you something. It's a trauma response when a man will say, well, what you working on? I'm like, I'm working on a paper. For what? Because I'm in school. What you getting?
A degree.
And I say what degree it is. Why you getting all that?
What?
Why you get the first one? What are we talking about? What are we doing?
Why would you not be getting it?
Because I'm not getting it, and you're a woman, and why are you trying to be so educated? Why you want to just chill? Basically, that's how I take that.
Yeah, that is how that is. I don't like that at all. And I've told my mom, like, I talked to my mom because obviously, like, I'm on the dating scene. And I've told her recently, like, I'm not tolerating a man that wants to be treated like a woman. Like, you're not a woman. You won't get that treatment from me. You're not a lady. What is wrong with these people?
What does that mean? Being treated like a lady that a man would want.
It's good question.
It's acting. Stop acting like a little girl.
Because a lot of people be having imaginary conversations that aren't rooted in reality. I mean, you might meet 1 out of 50 dudes that want that, and it becomes the common sentiment because it's so egregious from what society expects. And I'll be wondering, how much do women run into a man that want to be treated like what you described? Like, and I want to know what that even looks like.
Okay. And I'm gonna say this. I think what it looks like is more so a toxic male. It doesn't. It's very. You know, like women used to be defined as catty. Like I can say different things or be away. It's that. It's very men are presenting more emotional, even though they say they aren't emotional. So they're projecting emotion and they do it with anger. Baby, you're not really angry. You love me. And you just can't admit it.
Yeah.
And that's very
you can't really. That would fit if she said that I don't want a man that acts feminine. She said I don't want a man that wants to be treated like a woman. Like what would you be doing for him?
I'm driving you. You're riding in the passenger seat.
Yes, like something like that. Like okay, like you want me
when I want to.
I think like in certain roles, like I don't mind picking up like the traditional, like like a man's supposed to do this. Like some things I don't mind doing. Like if we go out somewhere and you're always paying, I don't have a problem doing that from time to time. I'm not gonna do it every time. But don't come to me thinking like I'm gonna be opening up your door. I'm gonna be following up behind you.
Girl,
yeah.
Yeah.
So are we going into trad roles now? Is that
what does that mean?
Traditional roles. So that's based on tradition, right?
I guess so.
Okay.
And I guess
it depends. All of it depends. It's all
so you can't have it one way. You can't have one thing one way and then not accept what comes with it. I feel like in a traditional role. But like she said before, if you accept that traditional role, it might work for your household,
Mhm.
but it might not work for mine. And then that comes into play with knowing who you're dating, who
Talk
you're
about it,
with,
yeah.
and who you choose to be with. Like
Mhm.
that's just all that it comes down to. As a society, we have to be okay with who we choose to be with and what comes with the relationship that we choose to be in. If you want a traditional relationship, and I have clients that come to me now that their husbands drive them. They don't drive anywhere. Their husbands drive them and they sit with them the entire appointment time. But that's what comes with it. And when they go home, they may cook dinner and they may cook 4 or 5 days a week. But that's for their
Whatever works,
household,
yeah.
whatever works for you.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, because we're having this conversation on out loud, on air, online, and once again, I said pull your toes back and get your notebooks out. So you all want to be
Get them feet
traditional,
done.
but you all are not. So traditional, I think in this day and age, you are listening to a crew of people who come from solid situations, like solid foundations.
Right.
And are intelligent enough to have their own perspectives and their own thoughts and feelings about what works for them. The other part is tradition ain't always bad. However, we are in a new day.
Mhm.
So traditional things do work. There are some pieces of tradition that I do expect and that I do give. I want those things reciprocated. But there are also some modern things where, hey, just because you're sitting, the table, this chair is at the head of the table and can't nobody sit in it but you,
Big Daddy.
sir. Get your ass up. Because this
Yeah.
great grandma here, like whatever that is, whatever those things are in your space and in your household or in your relationship. But we are talking about general roles and rules because I see a lot of this, not just in relationships, but in we people watch.
Yeah.
So I'm watching men walk by women struggling the whole whatever it might be. And it's like, I don't even see you doing it. And I don't know if that's just rude or if I don't value women. I don't know which
Right.
one it is.
But that's
I've-
been going on for so long.
Yes,
It's
but
been going on
also,
a long time.
I've been in the situation once where it's like I was in college and I was dating someone and I accidentally left my purse on the chair and I asked that person, "Will you go get my purse for me?" They told me no. Like looked me in my face and told me no.
He made his
So
mama.
it's
Most
stuff
men
like that.
Well, to some,
it
that's the
depends.
same as
Most
going to buy
men don't.
tampons at the
Yeah,
grocery
most
store.
men
Like,
will
they don't
not
want to
touch
be
a woman's
seen.
purse. Like period. I know a
But,
lot
like,
of men. They not gonna
Stupid.
pick it up. They not gonna go
Yeah,
in it. They not gonna do any of that. You better get your own purse.
that's
But
that's
you-
that's something that they seen from their granddad.
I
or
don't
their
know
dad.
what it's
It's
rooted
a host
in.
of men who ain't finna do nothing that will take a point away from their masculinity.
Yeah. But then in the
Because we
same
watch
token,
it.
I feel like I
Everything
could
is
also
sassy.
say that like I've also seen the same person dig in my purse before. What was that
Go
about?
get my
Oh, he was
purse.
trying to rob
Oh
you.
no.
But
Right.
it's
So
what's
he
always,
has-
Yeah, he was
but
trying to
that
rob you.
there is another piece of it. So
Yeah.
up there, Stefan said that when we may want one thing one day and then tomorrow we don't want that thing. That's
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
That's hormones.
That's trading places, right? That's trading places.
We have hormones. We
Yeah.
can do that.
Clearly they do too.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Robert. He said black women are the most divorced women on earth
These
after
dudes
becoming
are
non-traditional.
These
Yes.
dudes
Who
are
is
tripping in
that?
the
y'all need to go back to being traditional.
They're the reason
I can't
why
believe
we're
that
having
y'all
conversations.
relationships with y'all's women and kids is going well.
But it's not.
They
That's
may
why they're
not
on
be.
Can't
Facebook.
believe that. If they not,
I would-
you
Generally,
don't have to verify it on this chat. But if it's not, it's rooted in these sentiments that y'all are putting on this chat.
generally, some, not all, but some men that are able to sit on Facebook Live and make comments, they don't have.
Healthy relationship.
Yeah. Not only that, they don't have anything else to do.
No.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are listening. If
Yes.
you are those guys, I don't know who you are.
We love you, but
but I do want
a big butt.
I want your it's all open. It's all open. Thoughts and opinions,
Black
feelings.
women.
I want to hear it.
He said after becoming non-traditional. What does that even mean? Where did you get that data from? There's no data to support what he's saying.
After you stop being barefoot and pregnant and all of that, now you get
After you
divorced.
stop letting that man at that plant take care of 2 and 3 families.
Right.
Oh, because you're not gonna do this.
Because you're not gonna do it now.
You're married to me. Or
But
whatever.
and again, the phrasing of that is wrong because black women aren't the
You
most
are.
divorced. Black men are the most divorced because women are the ones that leave the relationships, not the men. Women divorce men, and that's what Kevin Samuel.
Yes,
that's
and
what
men
Kevin
do
Samuel
not
talking about.
generally divorce
Women divorce. Women leave men at an 80% rate,
because
and men
I
don't
got to
leave
go.
women. And they saying that as a reference to men are solid and women are not because they'll leave you. But we should be leaving when things don't fit us. We should be leaving as much as women leave.
Hey, this is
It's
gonna
just
work.
foolish to me to say that we stand on business. We stay in relationships that ain't doing us any good. We just go cheat.
well,
Right, it's
men
so
are creatures of
detrimental.
habit, though. They're creatures of habit and they're creatures of comfort.
Yeah.
So if they've been in a relationship, they've committed to a marriage, they're gonna do what they want to do outside the marriage.
Yeah.
But because they're
I'm
comfortable,
still here.
that's where they're yeah.
Having
and-
their cake
and
and eating it.
Don't I come
It's
home every night?
it's very toxic.
Get out.
But don't women do the same?
Hey,
No,
hold
not
on,
now.
y'all. 9948949 is the number. Let me tell you one thing.
not
Hold
now.
on. One thing for sure. Whatever you feel or think, it only matters who it matters to. So that's why I don't really get upset because it may not matter to me. I'm not gonna
Right.
tell you that it doesn't matter, but I am gonna say, you know what? Okay,
You check out.
all right. So if you're a woman in your relationship or your man in your relationship or your daddy or whoever it is that's connected to you is that person or shows these traits and you're okay with it or you aren't okay with it, that's when I come in. If you really when you want to start really doing something about it. But as far as just talking about it and having a conversation, I value that, but I don't value arguments over it. You can feel how you feel. You are entitled to feel how you feel. I just don't have to have no children.
why
with you
does that-
and have a business with you?
Now, why is that so toxic for women that don't argue about it?
Girl,
This is the oxymoronic part
Girl,
to me.
what?
To me,
Yes.
because I'm like this. If we're about to get into confrontation,
it's okay.
I'm not toxic enough to go back and forth with you.
You got to be dog.
I don't say that, but what I do,
might say that.
I'll agree to disagree, and then we'll talk about it later when I calm down. Because right now I'm angry,
Yeah, baby, it's okay.
and that's more traditional.
should be, but
It's
no,
more
you-
feminine.
Yeah,
okay,
but
baby,
no.
you got it. Let me
Mm-mm.
think about it,
No,
and we'll discuss it later.
Actual
should be.
traditionalists and men want to give you a lecture. That
You gotta
listen
sit
to.
there and
Yeah,
listen.
and
You
I
just
sit
change
and
your
I will
behavior.
sit there and make you feel like you're right about everything. All right, I understand.
Stop sitting there looking condescending, Wendy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, boo.
You gotta listen
You got
just
it.
right. Let you do something that look like you ain't listening.
Why you
for
leaning
real.
over to the right like
It's a
that?
problem now.
Left was hurting. What's wrong? These conversations, yeah, this is real life for
He-
people. People
he
are really
said
living in
true.
these spaces, okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
They
he
are really
said
living in
true.
these spaces. What you found, Hat?
Well, just according to data, if you just kind of Google it, Black
Mhm.
women are single more than twice than other races.
Yeah. I mean,
No. That's a different conversation.
Okay,
That is a different
so-
thing.
so many factors for that.
Oh, it's definitely
That's-
definitely some prevalent factors to this
Again,
conversation.
Those are two different
different
points.
statements,
One of them is women are the most divorced, and one
Black
of them
women.
they're the most single. If we're talking about them the most single, yes.
I definitely chose.
Okay,
I mean,
all I'm saying is,
I won't say the undesirable.
all I'm
What
saying,
really is
all
hard
I'm
to
saying
find.
is, brother. All I'm saying is, if a brother and a sister separate, he is more likely to remarry than she is.
Yeah, because I'm not about to be emotionally
Of
abused
course.
again. I'm not
and
doing that
it's
again.
not- It's not
The hell was
because
that?
he's better, she's not. It's
He's in
because
control.
it's because of
Mm.
the perception of Black women today.
No. That's not
Hey,
why.
hey,
That's not
Wendy.
why.
Let me
We
tell
can't
you
choose.
why men.
Hey,
right,
you'll never be able to make a choice, okay?
Right.
You have to be chosen
Men
only. Okay?
remarry more often.
hell?
Black men remarry more often than Black women because they are the relationship holders. They make the choice for marriage. They can say, "Hey, I want to marry you. Can I marry you? Will you be my wife?" We cannot go up to a man and say, "Hey, I want to marry you. I love you. Will you be
They
my
do it.
husband?"
Like Chrissy Lampkin.
yeah, like I'm not. I would never.
You can't.
I would never.
No.
That's so toxic. I would never.
Oh.
No. So that's why men remarry more times so over than
So it has
women
nothing
do.
to do
It has some things to do with the woman.
It has more to do with social circumstances. It has more to do that women are the primary custodians of their children afterwards.
Yes.
So the time that they have to date is different than men because men don't have primary custody of their children.
Yes, and you can go
Another
on
part
and
of-
lollygag.
Another part of that is men's salary. So what women have to do in terms of work to keep up with the amount of money that a two household had while she has kids and have to figure out how to work for that does not give her those time. Those are social circumstances after divorce that gives men the freedom to date and find partnership that doesn't give women the freedom to date and find partnership.
Not true totally, because if the brother is on child support, that means he needs 2 jobs or 2 incomes, which means he has less time to date and find a mate.
The child support is less significant than the fact that she has full-time custody. The money don't matter as much
I'm just
as
speaking
that
from
man
experience.
don't have.
Brothers
that.
who on child support, he got 2 jobs. 90% of them, 80% of
Where
them.
they have 2 jobs and no custody.
No, but
that mama can easily have 2 jobs and custody.
Hey man,
that don't
this
mean
is
nothing to a date.
so draining. 994-88949 is the number. Because like you think about roles and rules in dating, mating, and relating, and the key. What is the whole purpose of DMR? What's the purpose of that? What is this about?
With dating, mating, and relating.
Yeah, like what is this whole thing about with
I
human
think
beings?
it's for understanding.
Okay.
And I think
Clarity
connection feels good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Connection feels good.
We're human beings.
Yeah,
Like,
we want to connect. We were made to connect and evolve.
but for some reason that has become so tainted and so just we don't want to just connect. I want to control the connection.
Yeah, that's not.
I want, I'm writing a piece now about a challenge always being a confrontation or a conversation being a casualty. Like, yo, this is just
I'm ready. Let's break up.
Okay. Right. A lot of people don't have
I just want to
emotional intelligence. It's like a lack of that. Like they don't know how to handle their emotions, and people aren't thinking about people think about themselves, but I feel like not in the right ways.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing that happening. So it's like that's why we're having this conversation now. People are not doing the work at all. They're not even curious about it.
No.
So listen, the classes that I teach, the domestic violence class and the anger management class.
Can you give them information on that right now, please?
Nope. I tell you, nope. I'd be in there going in. But listen, seriously. Most like my guys are really like, you know what, Ms. Wu, we should have been having these class. Man, if I would have had this class, then I would, it's all of that. You
still would have did the same thing.
If we would have classes and conversations about emotional intelligence and emotional awareness and situational all of the different things, emotional regulation as children or in high school, when these things are being presented to us, when we're in these relationships and starting to engage with other people, a lot of things would be made better because we would be learning the skills, but we learn the skills after we've already made so many
mistakes, bad decisions,
errors, enemies, financial. But like, come on
the other side of that, you have to be able to learn and grow from your mistakes because you're gonna make mistakes throughout life. It's just life. It's a process. Nobody has a handbook. No, but you can look at people that have come before you and know what decisions to make.
Right.
And people just don't take advantage of free will and take advantage of good decision making.
Right. I feel like experience is the best teacher.
Yeah, it really is. But my experience might not be your experience because I'm not going to perceive what I went through the same way you might perceive what I go through. So it's just up to me to take it all in and say, hey, I can use this to become a better person instead of just wanting to remain toxic and not see it. And somebody else telling you, hey, do you know, like you've gotten fired. You've gotten fired from about 6 or 7 jobs.
I didn't get fired. I quit.
You're a liar.
I'm not lying.
Yes,
I'm just
you
telling
are.
you.
You are lying.
It's all of that. And it's over and over and over again. And it's like, you know what? You got it. Big dog. So we're not going to really get into this comment because that takes us into some stats that I don't know if you all, I like, references.
What?
Right? So
what was the comment?
There's several, but now we're talking about the interracial marriages and all the different things.
We're just talking about toxic stuff today, guys.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next month on the third Sunday.
Go ahead.
Black people marry black people at an 85% rate. 1 to 2% up or down here or there. This is why Robert, your stats is off.
But that's why we need references.
Robert again?
Yeah,
Mr. Robert.
Look, the stats are off.
According to
blah
blah blah blah.
The interracial marriages.
Okay.
These numbers mean something, and you can make the numbers mean what you want them to mean. But like the way that they collect the data is important. So the arbitrary statements about women are divorced black women are divorced for infidelity more. How where's the metric for that?
Facebook,
who is collecting that data?
His wife.
My algorithm. Hey, 994-894-8949. Get in on the conversation.
Robert's last comment.
Get in on the conversation.
that-
Hold on, y'all. Get in on the conversation. 994-8949, or either you can post it in the comments. But I say if you call in with it that way, you can provide your references.
Please.
So that we can know,
We're gonna take this
according to
back.
the CDC 2024.
You have to cite your work, please.
Yeah.
MLA style.
APA. Oh man.
Please.
Hey Angie. I think it's so healthy to have DMR conversations for people to learn and to express themselves just like this with transparency. Then women and men can determine if this person is good for them or not. Also, talking about a person. This person. Most people, and that's very vague. I'm not going to say most people. There have been situations here recently where most people feel that one person is not the person. Out of all the people in the world, I'm supposed to just choose one person, be with one person for the
and
rest
then
of
they
my
blame it
life?
on the in Africa. They don't do that. Are you?
When
there?
have you been there?
Right. Go.
Okay.
You don't even have the resources to manage a polyamorous relationship.
And once again,
sir.
resources. Once again,
you don't even have
Well,
the
don't be with
resources
nobody.
or the
Be by
emotional
yourself.
intelligence to handle. You
Myself.
can't
I
handle
don't
one
like me.
person.
The people making this argument is trying to argue for their ability to cheat.
okay. Where's my bill?
When they say that, they saying, "You mean I can't do nothing on the side?
How
We
they
both
say it
just have
English?
one. I can't do nothing on the side."
No. No. Go sit down and read a book.
This ain't how it's supposed to be.
I do have a question for you guys. So, like, I'm going to start with Woo and Wendy. So, obviously, like, y'all grew up in a different time frame than I have.
Don't do that.
So,
Excuse me? Hello?
I just want to know, like, so in comparison to the men that y'all were around and dated growing up versus now, like, do y'all see a difference? And then for Eddie and J Hat, do y'all see a difference versus like women back then and women now? And like, what are they?
Go ahead, Woo.
They just grew up. They just grew up.
I think, hold on, I need to further express, like,
Yeah.
I feel like what we're experiencing today, like, in some ways it's always been this way, but I don't know if the influx of it is like from social media or if like it was that way back then or like it was less. Like, what do y'all think?
I will be completely transparent on this. And I don't think it's the men are different. I think as I matured, I made different choices when it came to men. So, cause I liked them hard. I was the nerdy girl, and the nerdy girl always goes for the
Bobby Brown.
But as I matured, I choose different men. I make different choices. And I think that's all it really is. Whatever you're hyper focused on or whatever type of man you're focused on, that's what you're gonna see most of. And that's with anything. So change your focus and you change the type of people you attract. You change the type of men you date. And your needs and your wants will change because you have different desires. You have different needs that you need to fulfill. So it's a lot different when you take advantage and take control of you.
I will say that they grew up. A lot of what you see now is what we saw then. The same boy with 10 girlfriends then has 10 children now. The same girl that,
Oh God.
it's the same. I think it's just more magnified because of access. We can see these things now. Nothing is really suggestive anymore. Everything is wide open. And what's not wide open is kept secret because it's negative and toxic.
It's toxic.
So I can't say that it's just so different. I just think that now, as people like to say, these are the last days.
So before I had that clarity from you two, I kind of almost felt like it was like a crisis of some sort because of the things that I've experienced and my friends have experienced. Like, it's just bewildering, especially becoming like, now that I'm 26, I say this a lot, but I feel like I'm definitely like way more mature than I was in my younger 20s. What I dealt with then,
so
I
you
would
don't
absolutely not deal with
your
now.
desires change, your needs change. So, and I will say this, and I might be playing devil's advocate. Social media is social media, but the same people I see on social media, I saw when social media wasn't as prevalent, and I was at UAB. The same type of guys existed. The same type of guys was in LR Hall. The t-shirts were way longer though. That was it. They had tall tees. But it's the same type of people.
Mhm.
People generally do not change, and the
Yeah.
environments that they come from don't change. You have people that are from this area, from this area, from this, and their behaviors are typically the same.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
It's just
it-
like human nature.
it's
Yeah.
human nature,
Yeah.
and until you make the decision to step outside of that,
Mhm.
you're gonna act just like the rest of the people around you,
Right.
because you are cultivated by your environment and the people
Now-
around you.
Now, I'm still an individual,
Yeah,
and birds of a feather that flock together.
and
Okay.
fly south for the winter.
Mm.
Okay,
Huh.
hallelujah.
Okay. So, in the spaces that I am in, the conversations that I'm having, if you all go back to last week, we were talking about perimenopause and like how you see these different things online, whatever your age group is experiencing, you're probably seeing a lot of that. Whatever you're talking about, whatever you're, whatever it is whatever your phone is reading through your brain, you're going to see a lot of that. So, if you started looking up the true desires of your heart, which are what would you see? What would you put in your search bar?
Mm.
This is what I'm going to put in my search bar so that I can
just-
see more of this.
To have an environment where I can have a sound mind and make sound decisions.
Okay, so you would
Whatever
get a lot
that
of,
looks like.
psychology, mindfulness
Of
type
course,
stuff. Okay.
because I have to be sound. I have to
Okay.
have peace. Peace
Yeah.
is number one for me. I don't care what.
Ooh, a toxic person love to say though that somebody be disturbing their peace. they love to say that.
Come
Okay,
on.
I'm sorry. You're not toxic. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
but they
so
love to
it's
say
just
that.
whatever peace looks like. What does
Yeah.
peace look like for me? And it's a great career or job or business. In my line is my business.
Mhm.
Scaling my business is a loving relationship that's reciprocal. It's my son being taken care of. It's having that close relationship with God. Just whatever peace looks like.
Okay, I want to hear the same from a man. Well, we can get it from everybody. What you see now in your space, whatever space you're in, whatever you're doing and looking up now, that's a part of your environment. That's your mental environment. What would you want to see? Like, what would go on your search bar to change what you see and to really cultivate what it is that you truly want?
I think along the similar lines of Wendy, definitely
Like
serenity, peace,
feminism
just
is what it
yes,
sounds like.
absolutely feminism. I think creativity. I think art keeps you alive, and connection.
Okay.
You need someone there to help you get through the hard times, and it's also just nice to have experiences with people and look back on them you were there with me. We were seeing this, we were seeing that.
Right.
It makes life feel like it's worth living. So that's what it would be for me.
Okay, guys, what you're seeing, because a big part of this is what we're seeing, and I'm still seeing these stats about marriage and divorce, and if that's all that life is about, I don't want it. What's in your search bar? What is it that's driving how you feel, who's around you, how they are?
I want everybody to have a positive experience. I want everybody to have a positive experience. And through therapy, like you and I know, a positive experience comes on the tail end of a lot of pain and a lot of navigating some stuff.
Mama.
And so this conversation to a lot of men sound like I'm against men. But what I'm saying is, if you adhere to these sentiments, right? The men in the comments have done nothing but try to convince me that Black women are problematic.
Of
That's
course.
all of those comments are doing, right? There is nothing uplifting about that. I talked about the onus being on men early. Stefan talked about men being healthy earlier. It's how women behind them will be healthy. But
Stop stressing me out.
they don't have those conversations about how we begin to uplift Black women, because we can't take criticism. So for me, I want everybody to have a good experience. For us, it's to have a good experience as men. We have to start being more intentional about how we engage with our community, right? And Black women are in our community. Black girls are in our community. We have to figure these conversations out. So for me, I want all of us to have a positive experience, equitable experience. But in order to have that, Black men, we got to focus on the problematic behaviors that we have as a genre.
Toxic masculinity.
I think we do, and I think one statement I would have to push back on, and it's that accountability. Everybody holds us accountable, from in the house, at the house. It's our sisters that don't like accountability.
I was gonna say, is it that everybody holds you accountable except for self?
No, even I mean, most men have a very high critique of themselves. Now,
It's
the
that
defense
accountability,
mechanism,
right?
the defense mechanism does come off in our arrogance and overplay, but everything about black men is accountable. And everything is about what he don't do. So when we talk about
what you
empowerment,
do.
when we talk about empowerment, most black men don't get recognition until they 6 feet under.
You
It's
know what,
when
my
he's
brother?
missed. It's when
Oh.
ask a black man that's married. They'll tell you.
So when you in a room with black men, is the
My daddy,
conversation
my mama, no.
when you in the room with black men, is the conversation we good? We don't have no problems. We need to
Problems.
make sure these women get their stuff together. Is that
Yeah.
the conversation in the room with men when you in the room?
Hold on, sit,
Brother, we need to hug each other
How
because
do
they ain't
you
loving
address
us.
the issues that men have because of men's behavior? Because if men are highly critical of themselves, why are the bad behaviors in the black male community not going away? Right?
They're in all of the behaviors, in all of the races, and in all the genders.
But
I'm saying is ours are highlighted more than anybody else that walk.
But
we
it's
walk
not,
up under a microscope.
It's
every
not
day.
transforming into change behavior if that's the
Because
case.
everything has to be changed because we can't fit a mold of positivity. Everything we do is wrong.
You can't tell me that you can't be positive because somebody across the street is yelling you can't be positive.
What I'm saying is everything we do is a microscope, and everything we do is if we step out of line on one end, it's wrong. So you kill all the other highlights of positivity for that brother. If he makes one wrong move, it's not the same for our sister.
You know what?
But that's different than telling men you should not cheat.
Yeah.
That's different than telling men, hey,
moral
the
standard
Suggests that women cheat more.
It's there.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
And that stat you showed me, the number for women for cheating with black men was high, but the number of the number of black was high, and then the number with men was high.
Yeah, so
that would equate it to.
But we talking about black men and black women tonight, and it's there for the.
But what I'm saying, the reason that you looked that piece up is because he said
made that comment.
Black women are divorced more for infidelity, making it seem like they were the ones that were cheating, leading to the divorce. Right?
Wrap it
that
up.
was the reason. I'm saying the data you showed me is the opposite of what he's saying.
Okay,
it's men are divorced for their cheating, not women are divorced for their cheating. But all I'm saying is every time I try to have these conversations with men, it always turns into women ain't accountable. It turns into we are under a microscope. And those things can both be true while we also have things that we struggle with to deal with.
Okay.
Which leads,
I agree with that. They can both be true.
Which leads a lot of progressive women to staying single.
Yeah.
Because y'all got to figure it out.
Hey, I'm not gonna deal with all of this right here, and you telling me what I'm not doing, what I don't do. What you do and what I don't do. No,
because I need for my man to at least have the outline figured out.
Please.
I can help you write the paper, but can you come with the outline?
You using all them words. Don't use all that. Just
if you give me a good thesis statement, I'll help you write a paper.
Now you trying to change what I said.
I ain't trying to change nothing. If you give me the outline, I'll help you write the paper because that's what I'm here for.
I'm gonna get the references because when you go trying to talk all these numbers,
I'm gonna make sure you're relatable to other people. I'm gonna make you look good.
I don't need you to make me look good.
Yes, you do. That's what I'm here for.
What?
But I just need for the men to have it figured out before I'm
gonna just chill.
Because I need to know where you going. Because I'm going with you. Remember, I gotta go wherever you go.
Right, and
you're leading.
Right.
You done jumped off.
So as long as he got the outline, don't matter if he worked at Burger King, McDonald's. As long as he got the outline, right?
But stop, you don't do that.
So when you go, listen. When you go out, nothing. Let me say this. Nothing against my brothers and sisters that work in the fast food industry. But that's just not on my radar. It's what you focus on.
And that's okay.
And it's okay because there's somebody for everybody, but me and somebody in fast food would never cross paths.
When I worked at McDonald's, I had a McDonald's girlfriend. When I worked at Red Lobster, I had a Red Lobster girlfriend.
So that's just what it is.
I gotta think, you can't expect, you can't be mad that women expect something that you also want because you ain't where you want to be at.
Me? No, it's not crazy when it's the other way around.
Hold on, y'all. Let's go to the phones before y'all get on my nerves.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing? Hey.
All right, can you hear me?
I can't go ahead with your comment, question, thoughts.
Oh, yes, I'm tuning in. I just wanted to know, can we just rephrase the word cheating?
Okay.
I think that's what the issue is. In some other cultures, they they are used to, talking to multiple people until they come into a marriage. I mean,
Like dating.
I think that, yes, I think that's what it is. A lot of people get their heart broken because they never even got the playbook for how to date. So when they go out and date people and it don't work, they feel rejected and all this, and they start tying it to their identity. Men do it too. And then so you have people just dating multiple people and getting heartaches and not really knowing about why they date, why they doing what they doing. It just becomes a habit. And so I think if we define cheating, I mean, I think cheating is what it is. If you tell me, I just meet you and we the first 3 months we're dating, and you say, things are good, and you say in the third month now you tell me you date 5 other women, I'm gonna be upset. I would rather say you tell me, hey, let's hang out sometime. I'm talking to multiple women. I'm just trying to. I'd rather a man tell me he's talking to multiple women, so I can decide. And then for a female, the thing too, so I can decide if I still want to talk to him. I don't have to sleep with him, but if I do, at least I know what's going on.
All right.
Okay, I have something for that, and I was waiting for that. So here's the thing with dating and cheating. I don't think it can be cheating until you have become exclusive with someone. I think we said we were talking about marriage, but we weren't talking about we were talking about marriage. Yeah. So, but here's the thing about men and women. Like I said before, men are logical, and I think men get a lot of backlash when it comes to the fact that they have logical decisions and logical boundaries, and women do not.
What does logic mean?
What I say when what I mean by that is if a man is dating multiple women, a man is not going, and I've seen this, so I know. So a man is not going to give every woman everything to prove a point. But he'll get called toxic because he's not giving every woman everything. And a woman will come back that he's dated before and say something like, everything that I asked you for, you're doing for her.
Because you told me.
Look, no.
Thank
not
you.
because logic dictates a man to say, hey, I have to save something for the one that I really, truly care about.
And you taught him. He did not know. Okay. He didn't know.
No, most men do know what they want.
No,
I'm saying most men on a surface level know what they want from a woman and know what type of woman and what type of woman they want. So when it comes to a man being able to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for in a woman, I will date you until I find somebody else. But what happens is they're not transparent about it.
Wendy, he did not know about that restaurant until I
It's not about the restaurant. We're not talking about that.
He didn't know about it.
We're talking about the fact that women, a lot of women give everything to everybody they date.
Yeah.
Trying to be chosen.
When you're already
you're already the choice for the right man. So you can just you don't have to give him everything. A man will tell you, I'm not gonna give her everything, period. And that's it.
I see you because I'm looking at her too. But
what the lady was expressing is that I get to choose how much I give you if you let me know that you're not intending to give me everything.
Well,
that's a luxury that women don't get because men hold back stuff because they want to keep several women as potential options. They're afraid to lose.
Women.
They're afraid to lose what they will lose if they are truly honest.
That's what I meant by you have to make the choice on what you're giving. You shouldn't give everything to anybody.
Caller, you're in with the show. What's your question, comment, thoughts, or feelings?
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. I didn't mean to say anything that was inflammatory, but I just spoke the truth about facts.
That man said, I apologize.
Inflammatory.
Go on, friend.
What's up, partner?
No, Lord.
All is well. This is how this why you stay single, so you can just talk to them and just be cool and they don't even bother you. Go ahead with your thoughts, feelings, and comments.
Okay, so this lady just made a comment, and I want to sound it because there's so much ground to cover. I can't do it in the time that I'm allowed it. But I want to make a comment on this, and I said this: men are the gatekeepers of marriage, and women are the gatekeepers of sex. Okay.
Okay.
So a woman can't get married to a man after. So here's the question. She said that a woman is the right choice for the right man. The problem is most women get married to the man to their second choice and not to their first choice. They marry men that they don't really want to marry. They marry men that they have to settle for.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Oh. All right then.
Okay, Tupac.
Thank you. I ain't married nobody. I got to settle for. What up, AV?
Hello.
If I got to
So
settle,
was he
baby, I
saying
ain't
that
gonna marry you.
every man that a woman meet after the first one is only people that they have to settle for?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
You clear that up if you don't mind.
Yeah,
because
'cause I
I'm
didn't get it.
confused.
Because
They got proposed to the first time and then married and married the second choice.
it just when you get into this part of it, the other side of it, yeah. When you get to the other side of it, yeah, I get where he's coming from because a lot of women will not go through that first one, that first choice, that one, that person, that one, because of whatever. It could be timing. It could be a lot of things. It could be growth. It could be a lot of things. But then something a little bit more that's close to it, right? But has all the other boxes checked. You settle because the thing that made you click, and you knew that this was your it, wasn't ready yet, and so you took the second thing that was smoking
But if you
because you're on that clock.
Okay.
can't choose your first choice and your first choice didn't choose you, what choice do you have?
And if you're only choosing out of a garbage can, I mean,
Right.
okay.
Everybody's toxic.
994-8949 is the number. 994-8949 is the number. Hey man, just go to the dumpster. Why don't you? Call in with your comments, your thoughts, your feelings. This is DMR Third Sundays. AV, you remember the live shows, my boy? We were young. All of us were probably 15 years younger then. And those conversations and the perspective and the different things that we discussed then and there were so interesting. At this point, you want to be a part of something that makes sense to you. And there's a lot of things that don't make sense right now. And I'm just happy for those who are trying to make it make sense. I'm really happy for them.
I don't want to be a part of this thing.
Me either. I like
Make
over
it
here.
make sense for me.
I ain't say it like that. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
And then, gosh, 994-8949. Toxic masculinity is a thing, and then let me tell you some of the things that come with it as defined. Socially destructive. It's a socially destructive concept that contains misogyny, homophobia, greed, and violent domination. That sounds crazy. Keep him over there. Yeah, man. Homophobia, greed, and violent domination. And that's kind of what it sounds like. You don't respect me.
Y'all all seen Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah, man. I wrote something about that too.
Gaston is toxic masculinity.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Gaston, baby. I remember.
There's other men in the movie.
Yes.
Every
But he
other
was
men, they
big.
just want to chill. They love their family. They just hanging out at the bar. Gaston has to have the power. He got to kill the beast. He got to manipulate to get the women he wants.
What's
He
his
got all the
backstory?
women, but he really want Belle.
Did you say
And he's
what's his
willing to
tax
get her
bracket?
daddy killed
Oh.
in order to get, like, that's toxic masculinity. That's the way that he exists is problematic. And there's men in our society that believe they got to exist in those extremes.
Like that.
Mhm.
But
But what
That's what
about
we're talking about.
what about
That's
like
good.
how the men flock to him? Like they love that energy coming from him. They're like, yeah, like
Because they don't know.
go with it.
That's
They
that male
don't know
gaze.
that it's not working.
That's that male gaze. This is found in the sentiment to where
He's not the
when
example.
men
guys.
when men are in the gym all chiseled up, like
Yeah.
down, more women want a man that has less of that than more of that. Men just want to be like that man, so they believe that women want them in that form. Most women don't want the most chiseled up, rock hard abs dude. Most women
Give
don't
me a
want
little
that.
belly.
No,
A
they
little,
don't.
not a whole
That's
lot
what I'm
now.
saying. Ask just go around in your environment asking women. They do not.
No.
They do not
Don't
want
come
that.
around me with all
I'm
that.
straight on
But
that.
but again, that the
Okay.
blind spot that men have is that they believe women want that because they want that. And
Right.
it's just hard for men to
But
realize
that's
that
like-
I want that.
That's
like
like
the
women.
BBLs.
I was gonna say that's just like so. That's the idea of lack of individualism in my own identity. I want what I see them get because I think they get the attention that I think I want. No, because
Right.
I don't want no BBL with no BBL smell.
But it's opposite on the women's side, right? It's opposite on the women's side because women don't want the thing that men want to be, but men do want the thing that women want to be.
What's that?
Women with the BBLs.
I don't
Men want that. Well, men today are starting to say they want that ever since Kendrick Lamar came out of that track and said, I want my woman natural. But the only reason, go look at
the consensus has always been that men prefer natural, but they fantasize about the BBL. They don't want to take the BBL to corporate meetings and to their mom's house. They just want to get the BBL in the back house. But they fantasize. They love natural women. They don't like weave. Let them tell they don't like weave. They don't like lashes. They don't like nails. They don't like lipstick. They don't like shirts. They don't like towels. They don't like shoes. They don't like pens.
They like men.
They like
no man is going to admit this now because the rhetoric has gone too far. But this is a new sentiment with men. Men did not want you to have no natural hair. They didn't want you to have no fro.
They wanted you to have that 40-inch bust down.
They did. Yes. they were more comfortable. Before women started their lock journeys, they were comfortable not knowing that your hair wasn't real.
Oh, Jesus.
But they wanted it to look like that. They did not want to see you with your wig took off your head.
They
didn't want to see no cornrows.
Don't ever bring out the Allen Iverson.
Look, the question always is, does this remind you of your mom? What's wrong? What's happening? You should honor
because that mama had that press and curl.
Oh, okay.
Listen, men
French roll,
today are acting like that. But I'm saying this because
with a
listen, my type that I found are like hippie bohemian mommies, crystal mommies that garden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you want who don't wear no who wear deodorant without aluminum in it. So after a few hours, I gotta crank that. Hey, you need to tap that deodorant one more time.
That's your type, though.
That's about my type.
I want to tell you to tap that.
That's about my type. Tap that deodorant real quick. And because I've liked natural hair for so long, I was an outlier in liking women with natural hair.
Okay.
There was a time period where men did not want that natural hair journey to be something that was on their arm. And now you can't find men.
You gotta go through that.
You can't find men who will say that. They all say we want everything natural. That used to be false. Yeah. Okay. And it's true now to a degree. It just can't look like you can't have a little short fro on your head. They not gonna fool with that. That's natural, but they don't want that. They want you with shoulder length locks already.
Okay, yeah. Let's check this comment out. Who cares what a woman wants, and vice versa? The woman should care what the man. It should be, but with that person, if a woman don't want,
it's a run-on sentence.
Because I'm chiseled. Tell her to move on. Somebody will.
It's a lot of grammatical errors.
I can't. I don't know how to read it.
Call back in and say that one for us, babes. Time is winding down. This is the top 10. Then soon we'll be down to the fast 5. Tonight's conversation is a DMR conversation, dating, mating, and relating. In order to have conversations like this without trying to prove a point, you just have to be okay with what you think and feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any points to prove.
It should be the same in relationships too.
Yes.
You have to be okay with what you think and feel.
Okay, yeah. Hey, babe, I'm not arguing with you about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you can't say that's crazy.
I can say it's my relationship. I can definitely
that's toxic. That's toxic.
No, it's not. In my relationship, I can say that. In my profession, I won't. I'm not
arguing with you. That's crazy.
Yeah. Why would I do that?
Because you have to have empathy, and you have to have,
girl, bye.
You have to be genteel.
How would y'all feel about a man that never argued?
Oh, hello.
I don't want to argue. I want to have
caller, you're in. We're gonna argue with you.
I do, speak to text, and I didn't proofread it.
Stop.
So let me
you better write these. Get off here.
But for who said those are a lot of run-on sentences.
I did.
Okay.
It was me.
All right. So, but here's my point. Men don't care what women want. To be honest,
I can tell.
That's not something you should admit, though.
Exactly.
It's the truth. Tell your truth.
Why?
Come on. Tell your truth.
Why should a man? Hey, listen. This is me. This is what what I'm going to do. This is what I want from you. Now, if you don't want that, then go ahead, move on. I will find somebody more likely before you find somebody who will meet my demand.
Demand.
Are you single? Are you in a relationship right now?
I'm straight.
This man is looking for hostage.
You say I demand that you.
Ask him, is he in a relationship right now?
No, look here.
Exactly. Look at here.
Okay, that should be standard. Okay, so let me use a better word so it won't be so
aggressive. Okay,
we've already heard the truth.
Okay, well,
you can't take it back.
It's the same truth, just dressed up different. I'm gonna put a bow on it. So standards. A woman has standards and a man has standards. If that woman don't meet that man's standards, then move on. Because guess what? They're more fish in the sea.
Okay. I like to swim. I don't like fish, but I swim. I'm not settling.
the reason that I
You're not gonna
understand
demand
that
nothing.
the reason that I understand the sentiment of what he's saying is because it's from an old antiquated system of male existence.
Tell them what antiquated is.
Too old
How
as
is it
hell.
antiquated? Okay, hold on. Women outnumber men. Okay, that's a fact.
Yeah.
A man, and I'm telling you, fact. A man can have up to 7 women right now, and 3 of them can be married.
Yeah. It's true.
So how's that antiquated?
Well, the thing that I perceive to be antiquated is because what you're saying is rooted in objectification of women. It's like if one computer don't work for me, I'll just
Yeah,
go
get
get
another
another
one.
computer. It's like you're minimizing women to just being a thing that can be replaced instead of a person that you adjust to and adapt to and understand and learn and grow compassion for and empathy for. You don't say that to a person that you have those things for in the way that you said it. And I'm just saying that the old antiquated part is just the objectification where it's
Yeah,
like
she don't have no voice. So
if these
what?
specs don't work for me, then I'm just gonna go find another one. And it's just not always that simple.
Yeah, he's just looking for a space filler. And that's what a lot of
I
women
want the perfect
a lot
person.
of women won't be space fillers.
I want the perfect person for
Yeah.
me.
So that's
Gotta be perfect.
that's where
for
you're
me.
gonna hit a brick wall.
Cause who's perfect?
Yeah.
Some people do think they're perfect.
And I mean, what's being said,
Yeah.
what's being said is not wrong. In terms of what I believe couples should be trying to achieve when they with each other, we need to be finding out if we meet each other's needs. And if we don't meet each other's needs, then we should have the freedom to go find other partnership.
Right.
But a lot of times when men have this, the onus is on women to adapt to the man and never for the man to adapt to the women. And that is found in that first statement of that is men don't care what women want. If you don't care what women want,
you
then
need
you
don't
just
need a
gonna
woman.
keep running through women until you find one without caring if you meet their needs. And this ends up being the reason why a lot of women are having a bad enough experience to leave men because it's like, I don't feel cared for, I don't feel heard, I don't feel seen.
And I know you're
And at
mentally
some
unwell.
yeah, and at some
Yeah.
point, look, at some point, the thing for men, I say the things that you can touch are going to become a lot less important than the things that you can't touch, which is
So-
belonging, which is connection, which is compassion, which is empathy, which is love, which is belonging.
Fast 5.
Earth, fire,
Going into
wind,
that.
water. All these powers combined.
We are.
Captain
Yes.
Captain
Planet.
Planet,
Benders.
Yeah.
green mullet.
Hey, Fast 5. Let's take it to where it's going. So it's going to that mental health piece as it always does, because this is more of what it affects and how it impacts society and generations to come. All of these warped thoughts and ideas and all of our emotional baggage and drama and trauma that we continue to shape it up and call it personality and, standards. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. And then the idea that we expect somebody to just accept it and get in it with us. That's heavy. So in doing some real research on this topic, a lot of those that identified with the toxic masculinity mindset also had negative mental health.
On a scale of 1 to
Makes
10, what was
sense.
it? Negative what? Negative 4, negative 5.
I did not record the number.
This is a
but-
part of the male loneliness epidemic.
Oh man.
And-
So
Well, to be clear, the male loneliness epidemic, they make it about relationships, but it's about friendships. It's about men don't have positive friendships with other men the way that women have positive friendships with women. That
I
whole
have
study
heard
is
this.
about friendship.
Mhm.
We
So-
end up
so
in that
connectedness.
competition.
Yeah.
Connectedness, dating, mating, and relating. Okay. It's that much depth to it. When we talk about DMR, it's not just about intimate romantic relationships. It's about how you relate, period. DMR is dating, mating, and relating, whoever you relate to. So what's being said is that these issues are causing us to be able to, or not to be able to relate in a healthy manner. We don't relate to each other in a healthy way because of our own issues and how we don't see them as issues. We see them as norms. This is how it should be. And that's kind of scary. Bulletproof vest scary. Yeah, this is get down in the bunker scary.
Yeah.
I just want to
What?
say something to the men in the comment section. I may sound like your opposition, but I promise you, if we had a session together and we sat down and we talked through some of this reasonably,
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I think I can
And some
help.
tea.
I've helped a lot of men understand how this system harms us. It harms men first and harms women worse. but it harmed everybody that's participating in it.
And
a
then
lot
what
of
about
this,
your children? My
a
mom.
lot of dismantling have to be done to look at it in a different way. But a lot of the sentiments in the chat are going to be why you struggle to find partnership, why partnership ends for you, and why you struggle to have relationships with your daughters. It's that's just what it be. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, great show.
Good stuff.
DMR. So these shows often end with a lot of what do we do now? Now you take what you've heard tonight, you apply it to yourself because that's all you can do. It's an individual pursuit, and hopefully your works will impact and encourage and strengthen the relationships around you and encourage others to do the same. Every Sunday night right here on the V, you all can tune in and kick it with us. We'll probably be here next week. Yeah, we'll be here. Y'all be great. Have a beautiful week. Yeah, I'm not finna say that. I don't want to hear that. Good night.
I was finna
Be
sing.
vital.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, everyone. We're out of here. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for your feedback and your comments. Bye.